So, folks, welcome to yet another episode from the TGV Global Speaker Series. And our guest for today is Juliana Naufel, and she's from Brazil. So, Juliana is an artist who uses affection as her primary subject, and her artworks are strongly influenced by the healing aspect of embroidering photographs as a way of making amends with the past. Naufel's artworks are in a number of private collections around the world, including the Wonders of Women Museum in the United States of America, the Canier Art Collection in the United States of America, and Taube Museum of Art, United States of America, and Museu das Bandeiras, Brazil. And please excuse me if I pronounced it wrong. I did my best. And as we prepare to delve into our conversation on the topic at hand, art, entrepreneurship, and well-being, a creative conversation with Juliana, here's an exciting twist. First, let us tickle the brains of our guest. So, Juliana, get ready for a rapid-fire round of random words. I'll mention a few, and I would love to hear the first thing that comes to your mind in response without thinking much. If you're ready, let's dive in.
Let's do it.
So here comes the first word, Juliana. Curiosity.
Kid. Being a kid.
Invention.
Intuition.
Future.
Hopeful.
Book.
That's so hard. That's a hard one. Inner world.
Movie.
Musicals.
Creativity.
Communication.
Art.
Expression.
Success.
Well-being.
Fame.
Interesting. Something interesting.
And the last one is money.
Money is a tool. I
Money
see it
is
as a tool.
Okay, great. And thank you so much for participating in the first rapid fire round so sportively. I really appreciate it, Juliana. And there is one more rapid fire round towards end of the episode. So stay tuned. And folks, welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series, where we embark on transformative conversations for a better future. I'm your host, Naveen Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place through valuable conversations and discussions that add value not only to your life but also to your career. Thank you so much for tuning in. And Juliana, boa tarde. How are you today?
I'm so well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited about our conversation today.
Hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice. I'm also super thrilled to engage in this conversation. And you are our first guest from Brazil. And I think this is going to pave way to multiple guests from your location based on your
Yay.
reference. So let's get started with your success mantra. So please share with us the top 3 things that have contributed to your success so far.
Oh, I think being stubborn is probably one of the first things that has contributed to my success so far, because without being stubborn, I wouldn't say I'm really pursuing this crazy dream that I had, that I like working as an artist and with the arts in the country that I live. So being stubborn was a huge one. Being resilient, must as well, because there are so many closed doors that you have to go and work and open, not only for yourself but for others. So being stubborn, being resilient, and the last thing I think was like showing up for myself, because it's hard. It's a journey, and we won't always have the great days. We will have many wonderful days, but if I gave up on showing up for myself and for my art practice, I wouldn't be where I am today, because so many opportunities wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for this.
Yeah. So one thing what I would like to add here is the rejections are common, and we might come across certain no's before we get to the yeses, right? So that's why stubbornness, being resilient, and also the third aspect, showing up, is important. So I can connect to those 3 things very well.
Absolutely. There are so many rejections, way more than the yeses, but then the yeses are totally worth it.
Yeah, true. I get it. And I'm going through the same journey as part of my podcasting ever since I started 3.5 years ago. And my skin is getting thicker and thicker, and I'm trying to learn personalities of people, what is going to work, what is not going to work. I'm emerging stronger. All right, so let's move forward and please share your journey into the world of creative entrepreneurship. This is a rare field, not everybody is keen in terms of pursuing it. And how did you discover your passion for it, Juliana?
Of course. So I've always been creative ever since I was a kid. I love to express myself in different ways. So it was really a no brainer for me to think about working in the art world. But I always thought that I would work like at a museum or as an art teacher or something like inside an institution. But in 2019, I took a mastermind that helped me understand that there was a way to run a business and have an art practice and being able to have it as a job and make money out of it. So in 2020 I decided that I would take the leap and start running my art business. By then I was already like selling some of my artworks, hosting workshops, and then I started learning as I go, basically. But at the same time that I started having my own business, which is now Studio, a friend of mine invited me to co-found an art platform that at the time was just an online magazine. But then with time, we grew this other business as well. So now I run two different businesses, both related to art and creativity. And I've been learning so much as I go. And it's such a unique field because not everything works in this particular market that works in others. So it's something very interesting that you have to keep learning and trying new things to see if it works, if it doesn't, and finding ways to keep it sustainable practice and business.
Amazing. So you started these two ventures along with your friend as a co-founder. So what have you learned along the way? You said there are learnings, right? So what are your learnings?
Oh, so many learnings. So for this magazine, for example, we started a publication. So for me, it was everything from like curating artworks and selecting artists, inviting people, learning how to do interviews as well, because we host interviews, and even basics like Photoshop. How do I edit this publication in a way that looks great, and how is it going to translate in a print publication? Since 2021 we started having the magazines as print publications. So I'm not sure if your listeners will be able to see, but I'm holding one of them. So like how to write a book, how to publish it, how to advertise and reach more people and create an impact and bring together a community of like-minded artists. So it's been a journey because some of the things were really intuitive, and of course it helps having someone by your side because each of us play on our strengths, but still it's a challenging venture to be working on.
Amazing. So Juliana, you are also a certified art therapist. So can you explain what art therapy is all about and how it can be used as a tool for healing and also promoting well-being?
Of course. So this is something that I'm very passionate about. So art therapy is basically a psychotherapeutic approach using art and psychology as a foundation. And it helps us improve our lives by treating not only emotional and behavior disorders, but also just promoting well-being on a daily basis. So when you're creating art, the participants can express their emotions. They can have breakthroughs, understand what's going on their own minds, but in a visual way. That's sometimes when you're in a more traditional setting of therapy, you can hide or choose not to say certain things, but when you're creating art, images usually show up, even if you don't want them to show up. So it's more of an approach that through creativity, you're able to promote well-being, become more confident, gain certain social skills, improve your self-esteem, self-awareness, and things like that.
Quite interesting, and I can resonate with you the way you have explained it so well. I think it is very clear. Like, I think art can be a great therapy. I haven't tried it yet because I'm a bad artist. Okay, and I don't mind admitting in public. Okay, let's move forward. How can people, whether they consider themselves artists or not, means not is for me, okay, how can they incorporate creative practices into their daily lives to improve their mental as well as emotional well-being?
So that's a really good question. I think it's a matter of understanding that creativity can come in many ways. So, for example, you can get creative in the kitchen. Like if you like to cook, you can try experimenting more with different flavors and spices and ingredients, and use this as a creative way of expression. You can think about what you're wearing. So, just picking a different outfit or an accessory can be a way that you're nurturing your creativity, and mostly finding small things that brings you joy, whether it's like through dancing, singing, reading, or writing something. And of course, the art making sessions, which usually are like painting, drawing, embroidering, or so many other different techniques that you can try to add a little bit of time. And for example, if you never, or if you don't think you're a good drawer or that you can make it, you can always like collage or try different things that are a little easier for you to just tap into your creativity, stop for a moment, get back to the present moment, and find joy through these different ways of expression that we're not using as much on a daily basis, especially if you have like a 9-to-5 job, for example.
I try experimentation in kitchen, not with the fresh dishes, but I do the recipes, remix version of the recipes. If some food is left over and if some curry is left over, I try to mix them and add a few other spices to create a new flavor altogether. So I can relate to that.
Yes, and it's such an easy way that we don't even think we're being creative, but in a way we are, because we're tapping to different parts of our brain to like mix these flavors together, try to think what it's going to feel good with what we already have. So it's a great way to start. If you don't consider yourself
you're unleashing the other side of me and helping me realize my creative side as well. So, Juliana, now let's talk about some favorite success stories or transformations that you have witnessed through your work as an art therapist.
Of course. So I feel for me, it's always been so special. I enjoy working in group settings, because group settings, I usually have like 5 people at the same time. And it's beautiful to see the sense of a community that the participants have and build in these settings. And even just noticing small details throughout the sessions. Like I had a client that said that she really wanted to feel courageous enough to express herself like she wanted to, but she always had to kind of blend in. And slowly throughout the sessions, I started noticing her like painting her nails like bright colors and just talking more confident and showing up in different ways that of when she first started. So this is something so special. And also, I love working with embroidery on photographs. And this I do with my own art practices. And it's actually what led me to art therapy, because I host workshops. And in these workshops, people usually say at the end that it was so healing for them to embroider like a photo of a loved one, or even a photo of themselves with a positive message for them to read every day, and to feel that these transformations are happening. So I feel that just seeing the participants of the art therapy sessions feeling excited and enjoying what they're doing, and feeling that they are proud of what they were able to make is such a success for me.
Wonderful. That's great, Juliana. Let's move forward with my next question. And as someone deeply involved in the creative and well-being spaces, so I'm curious to learn from you, how do you balance your personal creative expression with the work you do in helping others improve their well-being?
Of course. So as I mentioned, my own art practice ends up being a healing space for me, and a space that I promote my well-being. But I also get support from another art therapist and traditional therapy as well, because it's so important, especially when you're dealing with the well-being of so many people, uh, that you also feel supported and get support. So me going to therapy is one of the ways to take care of myself, and also having hobbies. For me, music is a huge passion of mine and a hobby, and it's a way that I feel that I'm able to fill my own cup again, and it allows me to create the artworks that are my work. And also just creating things for fun that are not necessarily like the aesthetic of the work that I do and show to people.
Amazing. And this has been incredible conversation, and it's time for us to add some more spice and some more excitement. So get ready for second rapid fire round, where we dive into a series of intriguing rapid fire questions just to fire up the episode. So if you are ready, let's get started.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So if you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
Oh, I feel it would say move forward with shining intentions. And it would probably be at Times Square, like with one of my artworks, and this message just as a reminder for people to, move forward and remember that we can always change our future and manifest what we dream of.
Wow. I'm super impressed. Move forward with shining intentions. And remember, we can always change our future. Wow. Now let's move to the next one. What are you most proud of?
I think I'm most proud of being able to nurture like a great relationship with my family, and just time and showing up for the people that I love. So that's the thing that I'm most proud of. And of course, there are things that I'm proud of, like having my work at museums and all of that. But at the end of the day, I think life is really about our loved ones, and, having people to share your happiness with.
Super. Can you describe yourself in just one word?
Can you say that again?
Can you describe yourself in just one word?
Unique.
Unique? I thought you would say compassionate. I see compassion in every word that you speak, but yeah, you are unique.
That's a good word too for the next time.
Next time, yeah. And if you had access to a time machine, where and when would you go?
I would go at any moment that my grandmother was still here, because I would love to hug her one more time. So nothing special, but just being able to see her and give her one last hug.
Oh, yeah, so emotional. Let's move forward. And what is the first thing that you observe in someone when you meet them for the very first time?
Oh, their smile.
Oh, wow. So here is the secret. Okay. here comes the last one for the rapid fire round. What is one electronic gadget or a fantasy gadget that you'd like to see or invent yourself?
So there's this other artist that I follow, and she got made it's kind of a printer, but it's not exactly a printer. You basically like add the design that you want, and then it pokes like holes on a photograph at the dot, so it makes it easier to embroider. Of course, I'm not being able to explain it as well as it deserves, but I would love to have one of that too. It would make my life so much easier.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you so much for your active participation in the second rapid fire round. Let us flip back to the mainstream. And what advice do you have for individuals who are passionate about their creative pursuits but might be hesitant to turn them into a business? I believe you have established your business in 2020 after some mastermind session. So now you be in the mastermind shoes and advise those budding entrepreneurs.
Of course, I feel that once again, you have to be resilient, and you will have to study a lot and show up in ways that you probably haven't showed up for yourself. But also, like, I did something crazy and I just went all the way. So there was not an opportunity for not working for me once I had quit my day job to do the thing. But sometimes it's understanding what works for you. So maybe you can start as a side hustle, and then, keep growing with time and all of that. Hire someone to help you, especially if you're starting out, like to have a business plan, come up with strategies to make your business work. But I feel that as long as you're committed to your idea and you believe in the work that you're doing, you'll be fine, because the rest will come as well.
Commit to your idea and believe or trust yourself. That's my take.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. That is so powerful. And Juliana, before I let you go, share with me and my audience brutally, candidly, how is your experience being hosted on the Guiding Voice podcast?
Oh, it's been so much fun. I was excited for the moment we started talking about it. So thank you so much for holding the space and wanting to hear my story.
Pleasure to have you. And your story is inspiring, really, really inspiring. And I like your smile and I like your passion, the way you have explained everything. It speaks volumes about your enthusiasm, about the work that you are doing. And it is really contagious. So thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you once again for spending your valuable time with us by engaging in this conversation and sharing amazing, amazing insights. And I would love to have you again in future. So I'm just an email away.
We'll do it. I cannot wait to be back again.
Let's do shortly. All right. So Juliana, thank you so much once again for joining us today. It was such a pleasure talking to you. And friends, that was our episode with Juliana Naufel. And before we jump into the trivia section, we have a quick request. In case if you haven't already subscribed to our podcast, please subscribe to The Guiding Voice from wherever you have tuned in, because subscribing keeps you updated on new episodes. And if you have enjoyed this episode, found the conversation useful, please share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues who would also like TGV, The Guiding Voice. So please spread the knowledge and help others also grow just like you. Now let's hop into the trivia segment. So today's trivia is about Brazilian artists. Now that we have hosted our very first artist and art therapist from Brazil, Juliana, I thought I would share a few interesting facts related to Brazilian artists. Here comes the first one. And disclaimer, I may not be pronouncing it in the Portuguese or in the Brazilian way as it is supposed to be, but I will give it a try because I don't mind putting myself on spot. You are all aware of it. So the first one is about Tarsila do Amaral. a prominent Brazilian modernist artist, played a significant role in defining Brazil's artistic identity through her works. She was a key figure in the anthropophagist art movement, which aimed to devour and reinterpret various cultural influences to create a unique Brazilian style. And second one is about Candido Portinari, a celebrated Brazilian painter, created the War and Peace murals for the United Nations headquarters in New York in the 1950s. And these murals depict scenes of war and peace and are considered a symbol of Brazil's commitment to world peace. And third one is Heitor da Silva Costa, a Brazilian engineer, designed the iconic Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio de Janeiro, which is one of the new seven wonders of the world. And the statue stands atop the Corcovado mountain and has become a globally recognized symbol of Brazil. So, Juliana, I'm sure I might have mispronounced a couple of names, right?
You were great. You pronounced it way better than I thought you would.
Okay, thank you for thank you for the feedback. So, friends, that was our episode. But I have an ask. If you are aware of any interesting facts related to Brazilian artists, or if you have seen somebody benefit from art therapy, please let me know those details in the form of comments if you are watching it on YouTube, or if you have found this episode on some social media platform, you can comment there also. I'm surely going to review them and talk about them in future episodes. So that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much once again for tuning in and also for being part of awesome TGV community. So we would love to hear from you, and do not hesitate to share your ideas, feedback, topic recommendations, or guest speaker suggestions either through our social media channels, or you can also email us at theguidingvoiceforyou@gmail.com, and let's create content that resonates with you. I'm your host Naveen Samala, a lifelong learner, and my goal is to have impactful conversations that improve not only your life but also your career. And until next time, take care, stay inspired, and remember the future holds great things because the best is yet to come. Goodbye for now. See you all in the next episode with another amazing guest. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Most welcome.